There are sources of information out there that will tell you that eating too much protein is bad for you. It's bad for your kidneys, it's bad for your bones, it increases your risk of cancer. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth. In this video, I'm going to tell you 11 important signs that you're not eating enough protein. And I think for most people in modern countries, that's the case. They're eating far too many carbohydrates and they're not eating enough protein to actually build the tissues in your body. Every part of your body, from your bones to your brain to your kidneys, need for you to eat lots of protein. And this video is going to help you understand the signs of protein deficiency. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician with 20 years of clinical experience. And I think you're going to find this video very helpful for yourself and for your friends you decide to share it with. A very common sign of protein deficiency is muscle loss or the inability to gain muscle. This is very common in the elderly. As they don't eat enough protein, they lose their muscle mass. In some athletes, if they're not eating enough protein, they work out really hard and they don't gain muscle at all. Another is decreased bone strength, and this is very, very important. If you've been diagnosed with osteopenia or osteoporosis, then you're almost certainly not eating enough protein in your diet. Most people think bones are made of calcium. They're actually made of protein with a calcium atom stuck into the matrix of the protein. Your bones are all protein, and if you're not eating enough protein, your body will not be able to keep your bones strong. Another sign that you're not eating enough protein is very slow wound healing. Now, pay careful attention to this. If you've been eating low protein for years or decades, then you've gotten used to how long it takes for your wounds to heal. So you may not recognize your wound healing as slow. So maybe ask some friends and relatives how long it takes for a scrape or a cut or an abrasion to heal. You may find that yours is taking much, much longer to heal. That's a sign of protein deficiency. Another sign of protein deficiency is weird hunger or cravings. Your body's looking for a very short list of nutrients in your diet. It's looking for amino acids that come from protein. It's looking for fatty acids that come from fats. It's looking for vitamins, and it's looking for minerals. If you're not getting enough protein in your diet, then your body is going to increase your hunger, and it's going to make you have these weird cravings trying to get the particular amino acid or protein molecule that it's looking for. Low protein can cause that to happen. Another sign of not enough protein intake is brittle hair, nails, and skin. If your skin is dry and flaky and very thin, if your nails break very easily or they flake up very easily, if your hair is brittle and breaks, if you're having hair loss for no apparent reason, these are all signs of protein deficiency. Now, if you have a severe, terrible protein deficiency, you can actually develop edema or swelling in your ankles and feet. This is kind of an end-stage sign when you've been protein deficient for so long that your body's about to give up. Another sign of low protein is negative mood changes. So if you're always down in the dumps, you always have a negative mood, this is actually a sign of protein deficiency. Now, if you doubt any of these signs, down in the show notes below this video, I've got all the research that I based this video on, so you can go and read the research study and argue with the scientists. I'm just reporting to you the facts. Another sign of low protein intake is if you have frequent upper respiratory infections or frequent bladder infections or frequent skin infections. Your body uses protein to heal wounds with and to fight infections with. Your immune system has to have a lot of protein in order to fight off infections, whether we're talking about bacterial infections or viral infections. If you're not eating enough protein, you're going to have more infections and you're going to have more severe, longer lasting infections. Another sign, and this one is for kids. If you have children or grandchildren, stunted growth is almost always due, at least in part, to a protein deficiency. The child just not getting enough protein. And then last on this list is insomnia. Now, when I was doing the research for this video, I did not know that a protein deficiency can lead to insomnia, but it's actually quite well known in the sleep literature, and I've got a link to 2 or 3 studies down in the show notes below. But if you're having trouble getting to sleep, that could very well be a protein deficiency. At-risk populations for protein deficiency, in my opinion, include every human being who follows the USDA guidelines or the American Heart Association guidelines or the American Diabetes Association guidelines. You're probably deficient in protein. But populations who are specifically at risk are the elderly. Very often elderly will wind up on a tea and toast diet. They're just not getting any protein in their diet because their taste buds change as they get older and they don't have the taste for meat that they once did. Women are notorious for eating their salad and not eating the steak. So women have to pay careful attention, especially pregnant and lactating or breastfeeding women. They really have to go out of their way to eat enough protein. And then children, because of the stunning thing I talked about earlier, it's very common for kids to want to live on snack cakes and orange juice. No meaningful protein there at all. So you have to really, if you want your child to grow up to be tall and strong and beautiful and intelligent, they've got to get enough protein in their diet. Now, the best sources for protein that I recommend are meat, fish, eggs, and cheese, okay? Never, ever do you need a protein shake or a protein bar or a protein powder. Those are usually wind up being carbohydrate shakes and bars and powders, but very often the protein contained in them is not even absorbable or bioavailable for your body to use. I recommend that most people need 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or if you're in the United States, then 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And I know that there are gurus out there who are going to say, oh God, that's way too much protein. That'll kill your kidneys or cause you to have bone fractures. Yeah, so none of that's true. Protein's good for your kidneys. Protein's good for your bones. Protein is good for every other part of you. Now, if you're more than moderately active, or if you're an athlete, then you may need more protein than I recommend. But even someone who's completely sedentary needs at least that much protein a day. There are 2 diets that I recommend. Both of these diets are going to give you all the protein that your body needs. That's a keto diet and a carnivore diet. Playlists will pop up here at the end of this video. If you're unfamiliar with those diets, they are part of the proper human diet, and they're going to give you all the protein plus all the other nutrition you need for optimal health. Please take a second and help me reach more people by leaving a comment on this video and hitting the thumb button and subscribing if you haven't already done so. And if you really want to become part of Team Barry and help me fight chronic disease all over the world, then sign up and become a patron on patreon.com. There's a link down in the show notes. It's a quick sign up, and you can throw a buck or 2 my way so that I have more time and more resources to make videos just like this one. This is Dr. Barry. I'll see you next time.